This is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. It's Tuesday Lunch with Abe. Thanks for listening. And there's so much going on here. I can't keep track of it all, but the one thing I can keep track of is who is on the show, and that is Christian Rutledge calling in from Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Christian.
Hi, Abe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me. Well, I don't know if you have had me, but you are on the show, and thanks to Tinderbox Music for having introduced your fine record, An Inch of This New York Mile, which is your tribute to your beloved New York, which I guess you've been there for what? How many years?
I think we're almost 24 years now, so it's been a while.
Yeah. And you were a drummer before you were a singer-songwriter,
yeah.
And you were in a bunch of punk bands, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's right. Played a lot of very loud music in a lot of very loud bands around the city.
Did you play at CBGB's?
I did, indeed. It was still up and running when I first got to the city, and was lucky enough to play that stage before it shut down.
Yeah, what is it now? I think it's a restaurant now.
No, it's a John Varvatos store, so you can go buy like a $300 T-shirt.
Though I would think they'd have CBGB's T-shirts in there, at least as a tribute, but yeah, probably not. In any case, so you were a drummer, but then you decided, hey, I want to be a singer-songwriter. And you know what? I congratulate anybody that makes a life pivot, because I've done that a couple of times in my life. And, their next step, you might end up, starting a new, like a hot pretzel stand on the corner of Times Square at 42nd Street. I don't know. No, probably not.
Dare to dream, right?
It is. There's so many things to dream in New York. I mean, one of the things is you're pretty serious about some of the subject matter, like this Jesus Bushwick, a Bushwick. Mm-hmm. Now this is a neighbor. Bushwick is a neighborhood in New York, right?
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, and I had an ill-fated stay there. Moved there and only managed to hang out for about 3 months before we moved out again. So every word in that song is actually true.
Well, let's hear that and then come back and chat a little more. This is Christian Rutledge and Jesus Bushwick off the album An Inch of This New York Mile.
So long, Bushwick, it's been real. I can't say it's been real fun. The thread you're pulling is my patience. And now that sweater's come undone. I heard you're hanging out with the boy who lives next door. While he plays his electric guitar. He plugs in at midnight and he'll strum that thing till 4 a.m. I can hear him out in the yard. So long, Bushwick, it's been hard. So long, Bushwick, it's not you. You know what? It kinda is. Your new friends look so expensive. And all these bartenders are kids. And I can't remember when this place got so damn loud. I bet you'll say I just got old. And you might be right about that. I'm not too proud to admit. These days I'd rather stay at home. Come on, Bushwick, we both know that one of us has got to go. Listen, Bushwick, let's be honest. You won't even know I'm gone. There's always one more stupid singer lining up to sing one more stupid song. And I'm sure you're whispering you're gonna be a star to everyone you run into. And that boy next door who won't stop strumming that guitar all night, hey, you should tell him he's out of tune. Jesus, Bushwick, get a room. Nobody wants to hear you too. I gotta get up and get to work here soon.
97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. That's the first track from Christian Rutledge's album, An Inch of This New York Mile, Jesus Bushwick. I don't know, for some reason I have a hard time pronouncing that. And you're from Edmonton, Alberta, originally.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a Canuck.
You know, I've had more than a few people from Edmonton. It seems like there's a pretty good music scene there.
Yeah, you know, growing up, I was lucky. There was lots of music around. My mom was a real music lover and kind of instilled that in me real early. But yeah, we had a great scene. When I came out of high school, there was a great kind of punk scene going on between Edmonton and just south of Edmonton is another city called Calgary that, you know, there's all kinds of incredible artists out of there as well. So yeah, really, we're up there in the north. So all winter you just kind of hunkered down writing songs and trying to get good at your instrument.
Yeah. And you've got some really good production people on this. You've got the gentleman, Matt Shane, who's produced for Roseanne Cash and Elvis Costello.
Yep.
And he did, and he engineered and mixed. And then you've got...
and produced.
And produced. Well, you know what? I'm always impressed by an independent release that sounds really good and the arrangements are really good, as opposed to a lot of people, they'll put out something that the songs are good, but it just doesn't sound good. It doesn't have a good sound, and it really makes a difference when you find someone like that. And then you've got Daniel Reiser, who also, I guess, played on Roseanne Cash albums, and Misty Boyce.
Yeah.
Misty is doing your harmony vocals.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then Richard Hammond was on bass, and all of those are folks that Matt brought into the game. So Matt and I have known each other for a while, for years now, and he's always been a good friend. And actually, I really have to give it up to Matt because he kind of believed in me and these songs a little bit before I did. I was still pretty stuck in, like, what am I doing up here? I'm a drummer. I should be back there behind the bass drum kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Matt really encouraged me, and he said, you know, I think I've got the right people that should be the band here. And then so we did all the basics together with that with Dan and Richard and myself, and then we brought in not only Misty but Chris Terrell on guitars and anything with strings. Chris is just a beast. So. Was really lucky, and you know, Matt took on the production duties, and so he deserves all the credit for how the record sounds.
And who's playing? Is it? Chris Terrell is playing pedal steel, mandolin, and lap steel. I'm a big fan of lap steel and pedal steel for that matter. But and so your influences, there's a country influence here.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Is it something you've had all your life, or is it something from Edmonton? Is it what is it?
Well, like I was saying with my mom, she was like an old hippie folky type, and so I think I was more listening to folk music as a real young kid, and then country music, you know, kind of off the radio when I was growing up was not really my thing. But then in the 90s, I discovered a band called Uncle Tupelo. And they really changed the game for me. And I think for a lot of people who were like into the punk rock scene, the indie scene, Jay Farrar and Jeff Tweedy, those guys just, they were doing something that had a rawness that really kind of spoke to me of that kind of punk rock thing. And yet they were, hearkening back to like the Carter Family. So they were the band that really kind of were my entryway into country music. And so, I prefer the stuff that sounds probably a little closer to older or outlaw type country.
Me too.
That's sort of where I come from. So the more pop stuff, the glitzier stuff, I generally don't spend a whole lot of time there. But
if you could see me now, I've got my finger down my throat when you say that. That stuff makes me so ill listening to it, and it all sounds exactly the same. It's like there's one producer doing all this stuff, and everybody has this effective twang in their voice. Now, granted, they may actually have a twang in their voice, but They just play it up, and it's just like, oh, come on, give me a break. It's just so common. It's so common, and to hear something that's so much less understated, but with true emotion, that's what you're doing. That's what really appeals to me. And here's the other cool thing. Now, this is an Aqualam Records release. Yeah. Now, I have never heard of actually, I have heard of it in an independent release before, but they come out with a 100 or more page printed book of artwork and writings as a physical accompaniment to its release.
Yeah.
Boy, I'd love to get that and see what that's all about.
Well, we'll make sure to give you a copy. And those are just getting wrapped up right now. And so the guy who runs that label is a guy named Jonathan Swafford, and he's a really super creative dude, and I've known him forever. And we were actually in a band together back when the label started. He came up with this idea of, rather than just having, at that time, they were still selling those little, I don't know if you remember, but you could buy a download card on the merch table at shows, right?
Sure.
And we sort of thought that was kind of not the greatest look. And so he was like, he's an artist and a designer and does a lot of the Aqualam related print stuff is just really beautifully done and really artful. And so Jonathan had this idea of like, well, what if instead of a download card, there was an accompanying book, and there was artwork in the book, writing and artwork that pertained to the record, but that was really kind of artistically drawn up. So I've been lucky enough to be a part of a few records on Aqualam, bashing away behind the drum kit. And we'd be happy to send some of those your way so that you could see a few of those books for sure.
I have a friend in San Francisco that did a similar thing. It wasn't 100 pages. It was like 8.5 by 11 booklet, but with lyrics, his own creative artwork, and then photography, and just a whole mix of other things. And,
nice.
I've heard of people, you can do a download of a PDF, but it's just not the same. Because when you're listening to something, you don't want to be looking at a screen. That's just, exactly. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't. I just don't, I get enough screen time during the day. It would be nice just to look at something that's not challenging for your eyes. And anyway, I commend you on doing that. And I'm going to go to this next track. This is called When I Call You Crazy. Christian Rutledge on the rock.
Crazy, I'm throwing around words that I shouldn't. I promised I'd change, but I couldn't even make it through one single night. Maybe you'd be better off if I just went away. I don't know where I'd stay, but at least that way we probably won't fight. And no one pointed out there's three pointing back this way too. When I call you crazy, well, I hope you know that I'm crazy for you. Morning comes stumbling in through the window, hands me a list of my sins, though there ain't a damn thing I could change. So I'll swallow what's left of my pride, and I'll beg for forgiveness with God as my witness. Even though I've run all out of faith, tell me what kind of man swears to something he knows isn't true. When I call you crazy, well, I hope you know that I'm crazy for you. And I know the one pointed at you means three pointing right back at me. Still, sometimes I get so defensive I can't even see how I'm saying things I'll just regret, and I sound like a fool. When I call you crazy, well, I hope you know I know I'm crazy too. When I call you crazy, I hope you know that I'm crazy for you. I've been sliding cigarettes across this counter, ringing people up for snacks and beer, taking lucky numbers for the lotto. For going on, it must be 30 years. If somebody asked me where I came from, I tell them the apartment right upstairs. Every now and then they'll say no, really. I pretend that I don't hear them and just stare, 'cause I'm pretty sure I know why they would care. You can come into my bodega, and I will serve you with a smile. You can leave the book on the sidewalk, 'cause I've been doing business here a while, and I'm an inch of this New York mile. When they let the kids out of the high school, it can get a little insane inside. So I'll make them wait out by the bus stop. Only let them in here 2 at a time. And I know a lot of their parents, from here at the store or the PTA, or the bright blue morning we watch the towers, cried together on that terrible day. And you can come into my bodega, and I will greet you as a friend. I can see the headlines from the counter, so I know it's happening again. Another damn war that'll never end. I wasn't ready to see those pictures, those poor young kids who look like mine. And a slightly older soldier. Now who decides who does the dying? How am I gonna pull myself together? I guess I'll straighten up the store. Maybe move the flag we hung the last time over to the window by the door. You can come into my bodega, and I will treat you like we're kin. But don't you dare ask me to answer for despicable acts of other men in some faraway place I've never been.
This is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. We're listening to the music of Christian Rutledge from Brooklyn, New York. Those last two tracks were, what did I play? I played When I Call You Crazy and My Bodega. Is the My Bodega like the place you used to go to around the corner from where you lived? Because they're all over the place.
Yeah, sure. It's when you live in New York, there's one. Everyone's got one that's close by, and they're often run by families. A lot of folks who are immigrants or children of immigrants, and they're a big part of what makes New York such a great place to be. Right? You've got these family-run businesses that are not chain stores everywhere, and they're just kind of doing their thing to get by.
Yeah, and just for those of you who don't know what a bodega is, it's like a mini convenience store. So you've got your basics, your milk, your cheese, whatever, canned items, some fruit, and they're usually very small. They're literally like 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, we were talking about earlier about when I moved to New York, and I actually moved here just before 9/11 happened. And at that time, afterward, not so much in New York, but I saw a lot of folks, kind of going after people who they thought looked like were the perpetrators of 9/11. And there was a lot of real nasty stuff going on there. And, after the recent events of October 7th happened, I thought, oh no, here we go again. And so that song's just kind of a reflection on the ways that, we can expect, or the ways that folks will kind of lay the blame for the atrocities of others at the feet of people that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Well, it's just our chaotic, crazy world that we've inherited, and hopefully it'll turn back around, and people will be kind and loving to each other once again. It's happened before. We've gone through cycles like this before. It's too bad that it's happening here, but then again, I wanted to find out where you're playing, because I'm sure people would like to go see you play. Are you playing in New York or anywhere else?
Yeah, I've got on this Saturday, August 30th, there's actually a really cool sort of little festival. It's called the New Folk Revival. This is the third year it's been done. It's put on by a couple friends of mine, a guy named Cal Toe and his partner in crime, Flannery Tice. And they do this great thing where it's a collection of New York City songwriters. We all kind of know each other from, various open mics and gigs and shows around town. And it's going to run this coming Saturday from just before 12:30, at like noon 30, that is, and runs till about 6:30. And it's in Prospect Park. So if you go to my website, which is christianrutledge.com, there's a link to the show, and you kind of have to get the description of how to get there. But it's in one of the meadows there. They set up a little stage, and just songwriters getting up, about 15 minutes at a time and doing their stuff. So great way to spend a Saturday in New York
Well, that
City.
sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you tour?
I do, yeah. Nothing on the calendar right now. I've had a really crazy summer, so I'll be looking to get some more shows going in the fall, and getting out and seeing folks in some other towns. So in New York, you can kind of play around. It's a big city with a lot of spread out neighborhoods, so it's easy to play around. But I'm planning to get out of town this fall, and definitely tour around the Eastern Seaboard.
Well, there is so much happening in New York. I remember when I was there, I was just there for 2014 for a long weekend visiting my now late cousin. And I just, even just going to visit people that I've known my whole life, it took all the time that I had there. I hardly had time to actually do anything besides visit people. And that's important. But, culturally, there's just so much happening. And, the musicians, it just seems Brooklyn seems to be such a hot point for musicians. Most of the ones I know are jazz musicians, and I'm talking upwards of 100 people that have been on this show that are all from Brooklyn. And I'm thinking, you can't throw a rock without coming. Well, maybe that's not a good. You can't. You're constantly meeting musicians. I would think they're everywhere.
Yeah. It's an incredible town with an incredible scene, and. Like I was saying, if you go from one neighborhood to another, it's almost like there's a new city with a whole scene of its own going on.
Well, here's a little family secret. Christian Rutledge, this is KEBF, Morro Bay, KZSR, Paso Robles, Tuesday Lunch with Abe, new release album show till 6 o'clock, Dead Air Dave at 6, and then it's Hardbound Ed at 7.
I just moved in, second floor, last door on the right. And there's a couple down the hall, man, you should hear those fights. It's a little family secret, all the neighbors know. No one round here talks about it, though. I came home late this evening, and the cops were at the door. I heard them say we won't press charges, just don't do it anymore. She was cut above her eyebrow, bleeding from her nose. No one round here talks about it, though. You can hear it down the hall when she slams against the wall. If you ask, to say she's fall. Then again, down her stairs. But there's no stairs in there. Little family secret that everybody knows. never stop arriving, unlocking unfamiliar doors, stacking up our flattened boxes till they're not flat anymore. When the rug your parents gave us doesn't fit where it should go, I'll put it underneath our bike song, the list of things I should have known. I should have known a room looks bigger when it's empty. I should have known we need more anchors for these walls. I should have known you don't hang anything in plaster if you don't want that thing to fall. I know you used to love surprises. Nowadays I'm not so sure. When we're standing by the river, running on the bathroom floor, I should have known another noise would come and find us. I should have known they'd renovate the place next door, and that we probably packed more problems in these boxes. Then there's all those things we never could have known. I should have known you'd figure out the crazy kitchen. I should have known you'd make the bedroom look so good. I should have known you'd fit more clothes into a closet than all the laws of physics say you should. I should have known you'd make the light in here seem brighter whenever you walk in the door. And all these problems that we've had won't even matter, 'cause as long as you are here, well, this is home. I should have known that nothing else would really matter, 'cause you're the only reason any place is ever home.
Yeah, that's Christian Rutledge. What did we just play, Christian? I know we just did two songs. Oh, I Should Have Known, or Little Family Secret, and I Should Have Known. That's what we just did,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Good.
Yeah.
And did you ever busk? Were you ever doing busking out on the street?
You know, I haven't. Again, you know, as a drummer, you're not really encouraged to drag your drum set down into the subway and start hammering away. So I never did it then. But maybe I should take it to the people. I have definitely thought about it. I just don't have one of those little amp setups, you know.
Oh, these, you know, I've seen these tiny little amps.
Yeah.
They strap on your back like a backpack.
Yeah.
And they're tiny. They're smaller than a pig nose. You know what those are.
Yeah, definitely. Did you ever see Billy Bragg used to strap on this backpack sound system and march around London playing his stuff?
No, I haven't.
So he's a hero of mine from when I was a kid. So maybe I should take a page out of his book.
Right. So again, if you want to get this, so it's coming out as an LP. It's not out yet, right?
Well, the record's out on all the digital services. We're printing up some CDs right now because we've had some interest, folks asking about physical stuff. And then there's kind of a long-term plan to probably do some vinyl if folks want it. So, yeah, we're just kind of rolling it out kind of at a sane pace and letting sort of people tell us what they want.
Well, if you do vinyl, make sure to include 2 bonus tracks. If you can fit them onto because that'll make it that much more collectable.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, like a demo or just a completely different song that you didn't put on the record. You know, that's always a thing that makes it that much more interesting. And
Definitely.
and so so right now the CDs are probably a couple of months away, you think?
I think weeks, maybe 2 weeks away. But I need to speak to Jonathan over at the label. I know he had sent in the orders. I don't know how long those things are taking these days, but we're up on Bandcamp with all of that stuff, and folks can order there and at ChristianRutledge.com as well.
Okay, so Christian Rutledge on Bandcamp. That's RUTLEDGE.
That's right. Yeah.
Are you of English origin?
I'm told Irish and Romanian, so that's word from. But I'm really many generations of Canadian is mostly what I am.
Yeah. Well, isn't Edmonton like a prairie town, right?
It is, yeah. It's kind of the last stop before the Arctic too. I think when I was a kid, anyways, it's the most northerly city with a population of more than like 500,000 people. I think there's more than 1 million people there now, but it's way up there. And then just once you get north of Edmonton, it's all oil country.
And Edmonton, how do you spell Edmonton?
Oh, geez, Edmonton, Edmonton.
Oh, okay. Are you familiar with Audrey Oka or I Draw Slow? It's a group. Or
I'm not. Are they out of Edmonton as well?
Yeah, they're out of Edmonton. It's I just thought I'd throw it out there. What the heck,
Check them out. For sure.
All right. Well, again, your website is ChristianRutledge.com.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and I know you're on Facebook and Instagram, and you can keep up on what Christian's doing. And again, this album, when it comes out on CD, you can also now. Do you have to order the book comes separately, right?
Yeah, and we do package deals and stuff like that as well. So we'll get those up. They'll be available as a package on Bandcamp as well.
And this is a book that has poetry, artwork, writings. It's meant to accompany the album, whether you do the album as a download or as a physical CD or maybe later as an LP. And that's just exactly not something done very often. And I want to thank Tinderbox Music and Justin Bailey and Brandon Day for having introduced this fine record. Christian Rutledge, An Inch of This New York Mile. And when you come out to California, give me a shout. I want to come see you.
You bet I will. You bet I will. And thanks so much for having me, Abe. I really appreciate it. Great conversation.
You're welcome. Take care.
Am I angry? Hell yes I am. If the good guys got the wheel back now, well, can you help me understand why we got the same old problems and there's still nothing they can do? Am I angry? Yeah, I'm angry, aren't you? Am I angry? Damn right. About the time the poor folks need it, that's when the money gets too tight. But we can keep on making missiles, and we can bail the banks out too. If you're asking why I'm angry, well, I'm wondering why aren't you? When justice is a whisper in the distance, and it's further than it seems we'll ever go. Families going bankrupt just to buy some medicine. If you're asking why I'm angry, I don't know where to begin. Am I angry? Bet you're. I keep hearing change is coming, but we can't do it too fast. Well, you should tell that to James Baldwin, Malcolm X, or Dr. King, because by now it's pretty clear your pretty words don't mean a thing. When justice is a whisper in the distance, and it's further than it seems we'll ever go. Another kid gets killed because of the color of their skin. If you're asking why I'm angry, well, the list can start with them. If you're asking why I'm angry, I don't know if the answer ever ends. I still see the hospital from here. Looks like the window to your room is trying to hide behind the trees. I had to take a break and get some air. How does someone get so tired just sitting watching someone sleep? I go past the people smoking by the sign that says no smoking at the benches on the way out to the street. And right after the highway there's a strip mall with a cafe where I'll sit and try to force myself to eat. Feeling bad because I'm not watching you sleep. I knew that you'd been hurting for a while, but anytime I'd ask you, tell me you were feeling better, even though I knew it probably was a lie. I thought maybe you'd come clean when I got out here in the summer, but now I'm passing people smoking by the door that wouldn't open and the complicated pay-to-park machines. Up the giant elevator and past the nurse's station to the only place on earth I need to be. In an uncomfortable chair watching you sleep. When I pass the people smoking, they can tell my heart is broken. Someone asks me if there's anything I need. And every tiny kindness is another small reminder, so I brace myself against a wave of grief. And I float back to the chair to watch you sleep. In a room the doctor said you'll never leave. Where the meadow meets the mountain and the pine trees paint the sky. On the path we walked together until I fell behind. Where the meadow meets the mountain, I'll remember you and I. Where the meadow meets the mountain and the gravel turns to dirt and the footprints become fainter, where your feet came off the earth. And I wish I could come with you, but I can't go any further. Where the meadow meets the mountain and the creek cuts through the land, I could feel you getting lighter as I let go of your hand. Will you circle back to find me? And tell me everything you've seen. Where the meadow meets the mountain, I will meet you in my dreams. I will meet you in my dreams.
Two from Christian Rutledge on 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. An inch of this New York Mile is his new album. It's available on all the streaming services. And a CD is forthcoming probably in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And keep a lookout at ChristianRutledge.com or go to Christian Rutledge on Bandcamp. An inch of this New York Mile. We heard Watching You Sleep and Where the Meadow Meets the Mountain.